I think that people moving to Camden County get a couple of things wrong. So today we're going to talk about the 5 things that people get wrong about moving to Camden County, and one thing that we think they get right pretty consistently.
Welcome to On Good Ground. I'm Shannon Rose. This is Sally Bolofko, and we are going to talk a little bit about Camden County today.
So I just want to start with the big one. I think the one that everyone thinks when they're talking about Camden County is that there's nothing to do here, right?
Absolutely.
Like that's what people say all the time.
Absolutely. You hear it over and over again.
And what do you think? You think there's something to do?
I think they are wrong. There's a lot to do here in Camden County.
Okay. And like what? Like what are your favorite things to do?
So if you have a tank of gas and a day, you can literally find so much to do here. You can go to St. Augustine. You can go to Jekyll Island. You can go to Savannah. You can go to Itchituckney and swim in the springs.
And Okefenokee.
Okefenokee.
You could stay here and go to Crooked River if
Right.
you want to go outside. You could go to Cumberland Island.
Yeah.
I mean, we are, we're not supposed to say it, but the gateway to Cumberland Island, because you pick up the ferry right here in downtown St. Mary's. And then even more than that, even if you want to stay right here in Camden County, every Monday, we put together a list where we pull from all the different places that people say, like, we're having an event, but it gets complicated trying to find them all. So we spend some time, we find out everything that's going on in this county, and we post it every Monday afternoon on our socials, and we try to put them in all the groups so that you can find out what's going on every single week, whether you're an adult, a child, a whole family, you've got, you're interested in pottery, you want to go scuba diving, I don't know what you want. But
there's water aerobics classes at the scuba diving. I just
crazy.
saw it the other day.
Yes.
Who knew? Also, they've got, the library's got cool programs on all sorts of things. Bats, they had a bats one.
Both libraries,
yeah.
St. Mary's and Camden County, they both are constantly holding things. The MWR,
all the
packed
time
with events. There's so much to do here.
Yep.
If you're saying that there's nothing to do here, you are not looking. That is 100% wrong.
100%.
Okay, next. There's one that people talk about all the time when they're moving here, and I'm sure that you've heard it, but how many times have you heard, I'm moving to St. Mary's because I really want to be closer to the beach? And you have to have that moment where you're like, we are closer, depending on where you're coming from.
I mean, 30 minutes, again, you need a little bit of gas in 30 minutes to 40, depending on how long it takes you to get over the bridge, but we don't have a beach. We do have a dock. I mean, you could
bring a beautiful waterfront.
You could bring your towel and hang out at the boat dock, I guess.
Wouldn't recommend it because we have bugs. Yeah?
Bugs.
But if you are into water sports, you can head on down to the waterfront, and Knuckleheads has some different options for you to get on the water if that's of interest to you, or find a friend with a boat. It's the South. You're going to find one. You'll know somebody who has one.
Yeah.
Hop on the boat and get out there. But if you're looking to spend a day in the sand, you're driving out of Camden County.
Right.
Now, I love the beach in Fernandina. So I like that.
I
like going to the state park.
I love Fort Clinch. It's one of my favorite places to go.
Totally worth a couple of bucks to park if you're going, just one time, or we normally do state park annual passes for both Florida and Georgia and the national parks.
And they do those, military gets those for free, right? I think military gets the parks pass for free. Maybe it's retired military. Check into it.
We're going to put the details in the comments because that's something I didn't know, and we should
find out.
Yeah.
But also sometimes if you go out there to Fort Clinch, you can I spy a submarine leaving,
which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Hey, we're going to talk about the great thing, the thing that people get right at the end. It's not that, but that is cool too.
Yeah, that is cool.
Okay, so what about the fact that there are alligators everywhere and they're always coming to get you and your dog?
I get this question all the time from people who are not familiar with our area. They come to look at houses and they're like, oh, there's a retention pond in the backyard. And they're like, oh, I don't think I can live here because I heard there's gators. Are they going to come eat my dog or my kid? Or do I have to put a super high fence up? I heard they can climb fences. And the answer is yes, we do have alligators here. But no, they're not going to bother you unless you're in their face.
Right.
And most of the time they're very tiny. The big ones get taken out.
Right. So they are, do you know how to tell if there's an alligator in a body of water here?
No.
There's a foolproof way.
Oh.
So if you touch it and it's wet, you should assume there's an alligator in it.
I really thought I was going to learn something new, guys.
No way, I got you. Okay, so there are alligators, and often my bigger concern, honestly, is snakes. In most bodies of water, you should assume if it's a puddle, it could have an alligator. But that doesn't mean you should be afraid of it. they are not interested. So if you want to be particularly cautious at sunrise and sunset, or if you're walking a small dog, you probably shouldn't go over there and splash around in it. Right. But if you're walking your dog on the street and the pond is over there, you're fine. So it's just a thing that you learn to live with, a little bit like Florida man type style. Right. But it's just not something that we just are constantly in fear of, and it's not because we're insanely brave. It's because it's just not really a
Have
threat.
you ever seen anybody running down the road from an alligator before?
I have not seen
I have not either. So
okay,
you're good.
So there we go. And I actually have a retention pond just across the street from me, and it always has an alligator in it, and we have 3 dogs, and so
yeah.
You would just go like, what's
have
up,
some
Al? Stay over there.
Marshland behind that is attached to a retention pond, so it's probably where they sleep, but I've never seen them.
You show them respect.
Right.
I don't think that they're showing us respect, but they don't need us, and so that's pretty good. Okay, do you have one?
I do. Everyone thinks that it's a small town. Everyone must know everyone.
That's good. Yeah, that is totally true. You kind of think it's, people have this impression that it's like Mayberry and that you're just going to go everywhere and just be like, what's up, everybody? And here's the thing. I feel like I probably know someone most of the places that I go. If you're at Walmart in your pajamas, or if you show up at Publix looking like, you're having a rough day, you're definitely going to see more people that day than normal.
Sure.
But
for sure.
But it's not like you know everyone. You can definitely, there are times where you can feel a little bit anonymous in this town still.
I feel like at Walmart you can kind of like, if you are not wanting to see anybody, you can scoot through the aisles and make sure you don't see somebody you know.
Everybody be on the lookout for when you see Shannon like dashing away from you in the aisles. She's probably looking like not her best.
Not my best.
Yeah, so so I think that's great though, because you can normally find somebody if you want to have a chat, but you don't have to always be on.
I've gone plenty of places where I'm like, oh, I'm going to see 7 people I know, and it's just going to, my hair looks terrible today. Then you don't see anybody you know. I've been to multiple places where I thought you'd see somebody, and then you just don't, and it's like, wait. I've gone to places where I feel like I'm not in Camden County. I've walked in and I'm like, am I even in Camden County?
So that can definitely happen when you're in Kingsland over by I-95, because sometimes we'll just have that traveler's traffic.
Right.
And you just, you're in a whole new place. And one other, thing to note about that is we're about to double the number of houses in Camden County over the next 5 years. So it's definitely growing and going to grow exponentially in the next few years. Whether you consider that a good thing or not is up for discussion, but that is coming. So even if you feel like, oh my goodness, I am the mayor of this here county, you might find yourself, knocked down a little bit soon. Okay, what about, I have one more that I think is controversial, but people, this is what you hear, right? Small businesses can't survive. Right?
Yeah.
This is the thing you hear all the time.
All the time.
Especially about one of our cities in particular.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and so they'll say that they don't survive. But if you look around at like where you actually spend your money or where you go every day, I would say it's 100% not true.
Not true.
Small businesses have a hard time surviving anywhere.
Right.
But I wouldn't say, I haven't looked, but I don't think that our statistics are particularly worse than anywhere else.
I don't either. You have businesses that I lived here for 10 years. I moved away for 9. I came back, and they're still there. So I have to believe. 19 years, and they're still there.
It's pretty good.
So, Market on the Square.
Yeah,
Has anyone known Market on the Square not to be there?
No, thank God they are.
I love their ice cream.
I love their fudge. Yeah, but if you think about it, like, if I'm going to eat, I'm thinking Carve. I'm thinking the cafe at Cottle and Gun. I'm thinking this Gators fish and chicken. I can't believe I just mentioned it.
You just gave away the secret,
so good,
guys. It's
and you
so
never
good.
have to wait. It's so good. I wish I hadn't told you, because now you're all going to eat there. Okay, so I'm thinking about the Freeze Studio of Music. Mm-hmm. We have so many small businesses that are...
Game Over.
Game Over.
Game Over has been around for quite some time. I used to work there.
Yeah, for quite a while. So there are absolutely small businesses that succeed here. And I think even more importantly, there are a lot of people who want to help small businesses succeed. So if you are interested, if that's something that you're thinking about doing or starting and you're a little bit worried because you think about that reputation, I encourage you, please do not let that scare you any more than starting a business being scary, period. But if you ever want to come talk about it, you need some advice, like definitely pop in. Let us introduce you to some people that we think can help you, because there's expertise in this county and there are people who just want you to succeed for sure. So small businesses can work here, do work here, and thank God for that, because I don't want to just go to a bunch of Walmarts.
I don't either. I love supporting a small business. I love eating at like a family-friendly restaurant, a family-owned, family-friendly restaurant.
Yeah, service is always better. The food's always better. Also, like if I can avoid going to Publix and I can go to Camden Market or Farm to Family, that's so much better for me. The food is more fresh. You can hear the story of how it was grown. Probably tastes better. I'm into it 100%.
Also, I just thought of something that people probably don't think about, but some of these big named businesses are family-owned. They're franchised. Like, so Chick-fil-A, owned by a local family in town.
Yep.
Our Century 21, owned by a family.
Century 21 Crest Realty, owned by
So just
Sarah
because
Wood.
you see a sign that you've seen in other states doesn't necessarily mean it's not a small business.
That is a really good point, because it's still a business owned by one of your neighbors that just has the tools of an international company. So that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's something that people say all the time about Camden County that I think is true.
Okay.
You ready?
Shoot.
For the one thing I think is right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the South, and people say, are people in the South so nice? And I think the answer is yes.
I actually do too. I mean, I've lived in a lot of states. Connecticut, sorry, I love my family, not nice. Not nice. Not nice. Texas, mid.
Yeah, so we lived in very different places in Texas. I lived in West Texas, El Paso, and you were
I was in
closer to
Houston. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was nice, but it was a huge city, so it wasn't like people were, super helpful or Central Pennsylvania, love you guys, but sorry, I'm not moving back. That was not the nicest place I've ever lived.
Right.
I think that the people in Camden County are creative, are kind, are generous. Please do not ever decide how you feel about the people in Camden County based on the worst of what you see on the internet. Like I tell my teenagers all the time, the internet is not real. And we're talking to you on the internet right now, but please come in the door and meet us, and we will be exactly the same in real life as we are right here.
Right.
Do not judge it from the keyboard warriors, because when you are out in this community, I think this is the kindest place I have ever lived.
I agree.
Okay, so Camden County, good place to live, huh?
Absolutely.
All right, so you get some things wrong. I think you get some things right. What did we get wrong? Tell us what you think is the biggest misconception about Camden County, or something that you think that we just totally missed. Like I disagree with you 100%. Just do it nicely.
Yeah, comment, share. All the things.
Wow, Shannon, you are really getting used to making a video and saying things.
Hey, guys.
But yeah, if this is helpful to you, we are doing this series on good ground. We're going to do our very best to release an episode every Wednesday on the Century 21 Crest Realty Facebook page, YouTube, Google, whatever. So you should be able to find it. And then, like I said, on Mondays, you can catch the rundown for what's happening during the week. And if you ever have anything that you'd like us to talk about or to cover, if your group is having an event, we'd love to be there, be part of it, support you in whatever way we can. So other than that, we just hope that you're having the most amazing week, that only good things happen to you. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.